Hey everybody, this is guess it's a Kiefcast. Um, but it's a belated birthday stream because I let's just say me and a few others were like busy. Heck, this whole week is gonna be busy for me, but I'm not gonna get into that really. But yeah, we definitely do have a segment that we want to talk about that may or may not take majority of the stream, among other things. What kind of really cutting it to the chase? What are you guys' thoughts on? I guess once again, companies, corporations, cough cough, a certain sushi roll, basically saying, well, we're gonna just take away the fun and just cut a lot of these like sites off because they're technically illegal and you're gonna have to pay like what seems like $14 a month for our services just because. Oh, and yeah, by the way, we probably don't have everything in the selection, so yeah, there's something that to consider.
To say is not safe for YouTube. So, if you want my true opinion, you probably should just follow my Twitter because I am actually going to make a post about this.
Yeah.
Because I don't like this. I already paid too much in subscription services in the first place, and I do not like Sony. Period. No offense to the two people here or anyone watching. I just don't like Sony in general.
Yeah.
And the fact that they own this website that we're currently talking about, I don't appreciate what this website has done today or any time.
Oh yeah. I will just simply say, even if you're working for the industry or you're an artist or you're like a voice actor or actress, and it's like I'm willing to believe probably not willing to admit in public, but I'm willing to believe maybe off, behind the scenes. And I'm not gonna really point any blatant, but it's like as a consumer, as a freaking consumer, though, this is just straight up robbery. Like, um, I'm basically with Tess on this. There was at one point where I was sub to Crunchyroll. I was sub to at one point Funimation. Uh, I was also like at least in the kind of current point sub to like Nintendo and Sony. Thankfully, I don't have to because there's a concept of like family plans, and I'm on Tessa's currently. But I really wish these companies could honestly just make these services just worth our while because part of the reason why we probably turn to streaming services is because TV is kind of like hit or miss. And it's if like I said, like in other aspects of places that I surf on the internet, if there's like a way to um get the access to these shows with little to no pay, we're absolutely gonna incentivize that. Um, I'll give you an example. At one point, Katakoshi Hitman Reborn. It's like a animated. I think it recently got dubbed, but at one point, there was no official licensing for it besides like Viz Media. There was no official way to really watch the show, even on Crunchyroll. At one point, it was almost next to impossible to watch Hitman Reborn at one point without resorting to illegal means. So it's like whatever is out currently that's like almost impossible to find, especially shows that are probably much older. You mean to tell the average person they have to just suck it up and just pay to enjoy anime? It doesn't necessarily have to be anime. It could be like games or Disney Plus, or it's like, you mean to tell me that the average person is just gonna have to suck it up and just pay for this shit? Probably not. I'm pretty sure they have other things that they should be paying for that are a lot more important for survival. And a sub service is probably the last thing on our minds when everything
Like
can work.
food.
Yeah, like food.
Food's more important than these subscription services. Like I think I pay over $200 for subscription services every year, and that's a lot in my book. It's 200, but the success, the subscription service I have to be honest is necessary. But no offense, a lot of these TV shows, well, the streaming services aren't a necessary pay for me because I'm getting nothing out of it besides the TV shows themselves.
Yeah, like, and as like their YouTuber Chibi Reviews has said, like, it's more of a service issue than anything because, in all honesty, with the way the internet is, we can easily find these shows pretty easily if you know where to look. Like, especially if it's recent, there's no way you can't find it. If it's by Netflix, give about a week or so, or maybe in a day or two, then you can probably find some third party website to watch the Netflix shows or a Disney Plus show for that matter.
There's a lot of YouTube channels that stream anime too, or
Yeah.
any,
Why?
to be honest.
And then that's a good point. Why don't these anime streaming service companies, I don't know, consider putting these shows on damn YouTube? You could argue, well, people can still, of course they can, but it's like that's at least better than locking behind their own website. Like, especially the shows that are next to impossible to find by legal means. Because the next thing you're gonna probably, next thing like these companies are probably gonna imply, well, how about just support us by buying Blu-ray or DVD? Do you realize how many people, not counting me, like, especially third world countries that probably don't have access to a DVD or Blu-ray or even a game console
Yeah.
that can play DVD or
Yeah.
Blu-ray?
Also, do note self DVDs and Blu-rays have become expensive over time. They're very, and I live in a small town, and I'll be lucky to find anything I like here. That's considered my hobbies. I have to import them from Amazon or another website just to get the item in real life,
Yeah.
which that sucks too.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Kaisuko, not to drown you out, but like if you're still
Oh,
listening.
he's
Oh,
muted.
he's muted. Okay,
He's got something to do.
gotcha. We'll wait for him to come back.
Um,
Um,
but like I said, I live in a very small town, and getting the stuff I like Miku stuff or even anime stuff, I have to suck up and pay shipping and handling, and also on top of that, the item. And that's not including the waiting time. That could be 3
oh
months.
yeah, and sometimes if you're unlucky, like how I am, I'm not gonna name what product, but like I ordered an Android since last November, and then Amazon is telling me, well, they can't really ship this because we're low on the inventory. So they're like, well, just wait until we're ready to ship it. Uh, yeah, thanks a lot, Amazon. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's why I don't pre-order anything from Amazon. I stopped pre-ordering things after the whole entire Persona Strikers was so delayed. I got like 2 weeks after pre-order, like after it came out, even though I pre-ordered it.
Yeah. Well, what do you? So if you're oh yeah, you unmuted Kai. Like, so Kaisuko, what do you make of all this so far? What's being discussed about, like, well, once again, anime companies or whatever corporation is once again implying, well, you can't you can't you want to watch this for free? Well, too bad. You're gonna have to suck up and pay the services. What do you have to say to that?
I gotta say, we're in an all streaming world, and some are getting a little too comfortable with that. We could chalk it up back to the original companies themselves also being enforcement of their copyrights. We all know how notorious Toei can get among other studios, so it couldn't be just a Western issue, but more of these companies too know that some of their stuff have been logged on the internet ahead of time with subtitles that they did not enforce.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why going to the top of the things that recently notice how every new anime lately can only be watched on Crunchyroll or Netflix. So they're going out of their way to give people a reason to just subscribe just to see them when knowing well with how often they overprice their stuff when it case of Crunchyroll, taking your information that they have on your hand. That really leads you to believe that there's more motives behind taking out. They don't want that to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And also, talking about information stealing, I have got my information stolen before. I finally fixed that, finally, after like 13 years.
Uh-huh.
It, it just. I would keep the websites up because what if you. And that's also another thing is that's another platform you guys can put your ads on for people to actually go see.
Well, I'm pretty sure there is a better way to host these sites without really letting like the bigger companies know, like, hey, by the way, we're stealing your shit or pirating. Like, there's probably a better way to do it than that.
Okay, one of the websites that got taken down today actually legit had the contracts that had was sourcing their anime. And fact is, I think the website that Mark and me used for a while, had it a couple days earlier than Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And I realized that they took down that website probably because they're seeing that as competition
Uh huh.
instead of actually just straight up pirate saying it's a pirate website. No, it literally owned the anime that it had on the site.
Yeah. The
And I think the creator of that website was Japanese.
the bottom line is, until we get to a point where I would support more streaming services if they were just a lot more affordable. Their basic plan even or is expensive.
Yeah,
Crunchyroll
too much.
Crunchyroll used to be $7 a month with just like no ads and then the shows and all that. And if you want to bump up, it's usually because of some extra stuff. And where I drew the line with Crunchyroll is when they started when they were merged with Funimation and they charge for certain shows just to listen to the English dub, or if you want to continue a show. And if let's say I want to introduce someone that's into English dub like you are, Tessa, and it's like, well, if you want to continue this, you have to continue in Japanese. And that
Yeah, sorry, I can't. Yeah, I need the dub to because I have dyslexia and it sucks. So yeah, like Crunchyroll, you really need to rethink it, please, at least, because I'm paying. I don't want to pay for another subscription service currently. There's no incentive to go to Crunchyroll. Especially since Crunchyroll is owned by Sony, and everyone knows here that I hate Sony. I don't even adore Sony anymore because the last Sony product I bought was a game for the PS3. As yeah, unless if that company changes, I'm not supporting a company that just cares about what's in your wallet, not the customer.
Yeah.
And that's what Crunchyroll is feeling like. They only care on what is in your wallet, not what the customer wants at all anymore. And that's why I went to piracy to begin with.
Oh
Is
yeah.
less if these companies start caring about their customers, I'm not paying for a subscription service. I have no choice but to pay for Nintendo because
Well,
Nintendo is
at that
Nintendo.
point,
We
it's
all know that.
like you have to pick and choose, and the only reason why you would be supporting a company when you know for a fact that you can't get anywhere else. Like Nintendo is one of those
Exactly.
example. You can't get, you're not gonna get Pokemon anywhere else as far as the game is concerned.
Animal Crossing, that's the one I care about the most.
Yeah.
And that also shows you I'm paying for the Pocket Camp subscription, which Pocket Camp is going away by the end of this year. That's also not good.
Yeah.
I have an editing app I pay for. I pay for the family plan for the Nintendo, the Pocket Camp subscription. Actually, all three Pocket subscriptions. It's I don't have enough money at the end of the day to pay for an anime subscription. Even though I love anime, don't get me wrong, I just don't have enough money or time because food is a big necessity, and
Yeah, and
also
that's really just it.
rent.
Right next to hobbies, what I value most is just food. Like, I will absolutely prioritize food, literally over anything else. And then the second or even third thing would be, or first thing is like my hobbies. Apart from that, everything else is like secondary or third. Um,
Like, honestly, putting a roof over your head, electricity, water, and food should be your top priority. Then your hobby should be next, which my hobby happens to be gaming and anime. And gaming's also super expensive too. So I had to cut one of those out. It's either Pyrite Games, which that's also bad, or Pyrite Anime,
well,
which that's
that's
bad too.
that's the thing, especially for like retro games. Unless you assume to have a setup that is made to play retro games, and by the way, not anybody has. Like, I will even as far as to say is like I was looking at this recently. Not everybody can have like a CRT TV or like the means to reconnect their older shit because it's like everything's being moved to HDMI, or you can probably look into the intricacies of that, but it's like bottom line, for those that do pirate, they do it for a reason most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, trust me, doing the correct. I've seen the correct version of how to get your old games on your new TV because we have a tech friend who does that and showed us. It just so many cords that could cut your house on fire. It's so bad.
Yeah. I mean, granted, there are legal routes, but
Yeah, but it's
what
super
people don't
expensive.
realize, that's also another investment. Could I probably set up my sub to get to have my N64, or I don't even have one of my newer, but like any older console, have my own new house and maybe be able to play my GameCube, whatever? I probably could, but that's once again not another investment, and right now I just don't want to invest that time into it.
Also, do note to self, the lag on the newer TVs is clearly showing if you don't have the correct equipment for it.
Yeah.
So people who are going to say, "Oh, you just have to plug it in," no, the lag is horrible. Me and my roommate Mark have tried with the 64 with Puzzle League. It is
Actually,
horrible.
we do have someone in this chat that is quite like a retro kind of enthusiast, like Kaizuko. Like, for someone that has the time to invest in like maybe older equipment and like what I would assume you do retro gaming, collect every now and again. What is like your personal sentiment on like the means to, I guess, game retroly legally versus like the convenience of emulation?
As far as retro gaming, there's its faults and its pros. The biggest things that you need an HDMI converter to at least make the visuals on par with whatever modern TV you have. We don't have an RTC TV where you can see the games as they're intended to be. Then, of course, things will be different. Say, for example, you're playing Scooby Doo 9100 fights on the GameCube on a 4K TV. Because those high visuals, everything is twice as dark because it's not replicating those same visuals as it was originally intended. And another thing to consider is more the age or more if parts are good to come by for these consoles. For the Dreamcast, everything is rare because this was back when Sega long dropped out of console race. And with Monster 5 and Dreamcast, hold on, let me answer this call.
All right.
Like I said, Mark did hook up his 64 and GameCube, and the games did not look the exact same as they used to. That's without the proper equipment, which proper equipment is expensive, especially if you live in a low-income household like me and Mark. Mark and me are on food stamps, and that's something that's not easy for me to say.
Yeah. And then it's like I almost feel like if you want to really play it the old way, it's almost like by nature you have to become like a bit of a hobbyist and you have to go out of your way to set this stuff up if you want to really do this the quote unquote legal way.
Yeah, you have to be extremely rich or have like a butt ton of money coming your way each month for it. So,
Yeah.
or do it as a tax write-off every year, which that's also illegal too.
Yep.
You can't just have everything you purchase as a tax write-off.
Yep. You
Alright,
can.
going back to my point after that interruption from the call. With a Dreamcast, there's a certain part that you need. All surviving Dreamcast has an internal clock, and because of age, the internal clock don't work anymore. And if you want that clock working, you have to seek a certain part and have somebody fixed, dismantle the console, and put that part inside if you really want the clock to match real time at all. This is not a problem with, say, stuff like GameCube or PlayStation 2s that can have their clocks working fine. But this is Dreamcast as a whole, because again, Sega dropped out of the race, and these are the hardest all consoles to take care of.
And maintain for that matter. That's why people turn to emulation where you're really just worried about ISOs or like the software side of like running a console basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. Like I'm uh I'm just appalled at these companies whenever they make this decision. But I guess moving on to
I'm not too happy
yeah.
with Crunchyroll. I've never been happy with Crunchyroll in the first place. After they made their membership pay only, they did have a free membership at one point, we forget also Crunchyroll was starting as a pirate website in the first place.
Yeah, that's so true. And then look at them now. Once they got big enough,
Yep.
like, let me try to think. But yeah. So kind of moving to some relatively positive news. I did see a tiny spectrum of like the Nintendo partnerships. I actually didn't even know it was happening today, to be honest. So I only saw like
I
one.
forgot.
We're probably gonna do like a post reaction. I'm not gonna bother streaming that. I'm just gonna like have us sort of watch this like once this is over. But like, um, all we know is like Tales of Grace's F is getting a remaster, and even though I'm not super familiar with this, I guess one of the Trails series games are also getting that. It's like that's cool for those that are a fan of that. But and it's kind of like funny timing that I did that opening reaction series, and then like Banco was like, oh yeah, we got this to announce and all that, which I guess
Well,
cool.
I hope that they're remastering every Tales game and proper, not what they did recently with Tales of Symphonia, like
Yeah,
an actual proper remaster, because a lot of people like the Tales
I
games.
really hope they do, and I hope them kind of not doing well on Symphonia. I legitimately hope that eventually we'll get to the point where one of the older Tales games get a full-on remaster. I'm not remaster, but remake even. But time will tell. Kai,
My roommate wants Tales of Xillia 2 to come out as a remake or a remaster.
yeah. So Kai, like, what do you think of like the prospect of I guess Grace's F getting its remaster right now? You did mention you want a Destiny something or another like remake as well, right?
That's true. Honestly, these remasters are a good opportunity to bring back Tales games that haven't been localized in years, let alone came to all parts of the West. So for them to start with Grace, this is a good starting point. While they could do the same for others, like both of the Destiny games easily, or maybe do one for Fantasia with much more graphics. So that's the first one.
Yep. Let me think.
Uh, think of what else.
Uh, the only other thing I can think of is like, yeah, this was like a long time, like now for online space, so yeah, on the internet. Yeah, I just as of yesterday, I've turned 32. So yeah, oh no, sorry, even I'm getting my own age mixed up. 33, 33, not 32. Uh, uh,
We're all 30 in here. Happy birthday as we get older.
yep. Yay to well, getting some older. I don't know. uh,
Uh, what else happened? I don't remember. Just too many things went wrong today.
yeah. I guess I guess I'm not gonna see this as like a long episode, and quite frankly, I want to kind of use this as an excuse to like talk about this, and I guess this is a perfect segment to it. Like, well, what are you guys' final thoughts on this whole like anime companies or any company for that matter making these stupid moves on this, and then everything else that we discuss?
Until companies stop being greedy, I'm not going to pay for their subscription service.
Uh huh.
I'm sorry, Nintendo's a necessary evil I have to pay for, but that's because Nintendo gives me stuff that I actually like.
Yeah. And Kai, what about you?
I gotta say, this subject could extend to video game subscriptions as a whole. With my experience with PlayStation Plus Essentials, the lag was very, very terrible for the PlayStation games as a whole.
Oh yeah.
While you did experience some lag with, say, the Nintendo Switch Online games, they aren't really bad unless a lot of people are playing at once, instead of
Yeah.
just on single player.
Yeah.
Kofi Streambot says
I'm
visit
only doing
Kiefster
that
underscore
because I have
Twitch's
to.
KO5 page at https://ko5.com/Kiefster, ref equals Twitch.
Yeah. Like, these companies really just need to just realize, yeah, the average consumer is just not gonna have the means to do that. And pay for like something as very basic as supporting the shows that they want to support because they have no other ways to do it. And I feel
Yeah,
bad for the.
especially someone who's living in a low-income household.
Yep. But yeah. Um. I'm basically so over supporting subscription services. I am. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Under you demons, and yep. Happy birthday to me, and yeah, that's it. We're just gonna keep it at 30 minutes. I'm kind of done with this topic, so
Bye.